Hey everyone, how are you doing? Saturday night, and look at us. Here we are here. That says a lot. Hey, it says a whole lot. So, how is everyone? I was not going to do this because I like kind of to, just to do what I do on Saturdays. So, got some really cool stuff. I'm trying to look at something over here. Cool. So here is the deal. How many of you been out looking at Jupiter? In fact, if you're a backyard enthusiast like myself, it's really one of the best times ever. We can't see it because of the sun, but you got Mercury, you got Venus. Jupiter is up during the day, and as the sun goes down, it's visible for about the first 2 to 3 hours at sunset. Absolutely spectacular. In fact, if you have a pair of binoculars, you can actually take it and see couple of the moons of Jupiter. It's how close it is. It's how bright it is. And then as you continue to go to the east-southeast, you're going to hit Saturn, and then you're going to actually see Pluto. So there we go. So hello, everyone. April, good to see. Brian, how are you, buddy? Claudia, everyone, good evening. So I get a lot of pictures from you folks, and many of them I pass on to Claudia because I consider her to be the, you know, she is the professor. I'm just the lay guy, you know. But I've been at this a while myself. Always been an astronomer of sorts, even as a child. And why I know the sun is that very early in the 70s, I had telescopes. I may not have had much, but I did always seem to have a telescope. And, I was always fascinated back in the 70s when we would have these solar maximums. The sunspots were far more numerous than they are. I have to say the 2000s have been really sparse. As Dr. Albers has told us, I do believe that the sun is weakening, and we may be in a grand solar minimum, but I'll tell you what, it's kind of like doing the limbo. How low will she go? So anyway, got some really cool stuff for you. And I'll give me 1 second as I cue it up. The one thing about Zoom that I really don't like too much is that you have to be really careful on how you share, because sometimes if you're not careful, you can share way more than you want. All right, so here we go. These are pictures taken from astronomers with Jupiter, and I think you can admit Jupiter is really bright. And when we get these, what we call these large luminous times, it's amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the picture. Melissa sent this to me. She sent me a lot of others, but this one really caught my eye. And so much so, I've literally spent 2-3 hours today in Photoshop just trying to make sense of this. Is this a camera refraction? Is this a backlight wash that can happen to the mirrors in the back of a camera? I mean, I went through every scenario, and let me blow this up so all of you can see this. So there it is. This is what she sent to me. Phenomenal capture. When I get off here, I will be setting up my telescope up in the backyard and going to see what happened here. So I can really bring the magnification up so you can see exactly with what I was dealing with. And then there is Jupiter. I believe that this is Titan, I think. All right, so let's get to some work here. So what I did here, just to let everyone know, I took this into a 3D bitmap, and thank you. I don't know why it likes to do that. Oh, I know why, because it's it's a bitmap, Steiger. All right, so check this out, folks. I don't believe that this was a light aberration of the apparatus itself. And you can see that when you do this, it actually makes the object, in this case, you can almost say that Jupiter looks like the sun and that this would be a planet orbiting. Isn't it interesting? So with that, I knew that there was something more going on. So in this picture here, I began to put it through a series of filters. Here, what I've done is I've reduced all the noise that was in the original photo and basically bringing the noise down, increasing the gamma. You can do in Photoshop, you can actually use a number of other tools. So it really brings out Jupiter. You really can see the two moons here, but this is what was remarkable. And we'll be talking about this on Monday night with Dr. Albers. I don't know what she captured. Again, I was not quite convinced. I mean, I spent a lot of time. So here I refined it even more. And you can really begin to see, I don't know what we're dealing with specifically. You know, and again, I'm accounting for, you know, maybe it picked up the exceptional light on one of the moons here. But you'll see, I don't think that that's the case either. Here again, reducing gamma, saturation, because all I want to do is really pull out and see, is this an actual light source? And it appears to be. There it is. Again. It's big. If this is in fact, here we go. Here I begin to equalize. And there you can see it for yourself. Wasn't done there. Here is a tool, those of you who use Photoshop, where you can actually trace out light sources. And here's a good example of that. Something is definitely Here's a really good one. Again, this one, I began to strip the layers. I love what this moon over here is just phenomenal. This one here is a smaller one, but this puppy just amazes me. And there you go. We're not done. I mean, when you come in this, you know, not wanting to have a conclusion, in fact, coming in with a more skeptical approach, you know, again, is this a light aberration? I don't believe it is. In this event, stripped out, went to a blue background. These are the stars that you saw coming through. Again, you can really tell the detail of our little moon here. It's just amazing. Again, inverted. This is another technique called equalizing. When you come in to equalize the light source only. Here we created a bitmap. Come on. I don't know why it's acting up like that, but let's hope that it catches up. But as you can see again, let's continue. Here's what really got me convinced that we were dealing with something. Here is that basically I'm taking all the light and I'm looking strictly for, in this case, as you can see, Jupiter looks so much like the sun, doesn't it? So this is far away. I mean, I don't know how close it is. It's right now, it would be, I estimated, if you looked at this as simply a brown dwarf that would have the faint light. We know that they do this. We also know that there are rogue planets that actually generate their own heat and light. This would be approximately about, I estimate, 4 or 5 times the size of Jupiter. Again, we don't know the perspective on the distance, but I just want to show you it's real. Again, here I zeroed everything out because I wanted to see, but there it is. Now, if this had been a lens flare or an aberration within the lens of the camera, this would have been much brighter. But as you can see, so what is this saying to me? Well, it's saying to me that it's capturing something. I don't know what it is. You know, I'm going to go out and do my best to see if I've to capture it myself tonight. Again, you take it all the way down, and there it is. That's why I question that if this would be any type of refraction of the lens apparatus. I don't know. Because I zeroed everything out, virtually almost down to 0. You can admit, boy, the moons, Jupiter, everyone's hot tonight. This is one of the best ones that I did. I basically zeroed out. I think this is what we're capturing. I can't see what's going on in the chat room, but I'll let everyone take a good look at it. Now, I don't know if this is, again, is there an object surrounding this? Are we seeing a band of light from something that's obviously has to be coming into our solar system? If you take that approach. Now, if you want to take the approach that it's a lens anomaly, well, you know, then this is nothing more than a lens anomaly. I don't think so. I mean, I stared at this for a long time, working it, and here I began to crop it. So now we can actually see I think this is probably one of the best images. It's noisy, as you can see. There's a lot of, we would call this a lot of dirty noise. It's because the iris is opening up. And I'll just let you see these. Beautiful, beautiful shot of the moon, those moons there. Look at that. Spectacular. But this is, in my opinion, even more spectacular. Look at that. As I said, I ran it through virtually every filter, strip layers on it just to really see what we were dealing with. And I think we're really dealing with something. I don't know what she captured, Melissa, but you did a great job. I'm trying to get the exact time, all the other pertinent details of, look at that. All right, I'll stop there for a second. There is more. I have some other photos as well because I think something is going on, folks. I don't know what was captured there. I don't. I've sent it to some colleagues that I trust, a little bit more adaptive in doing some photo analysis. But if we exclude the fact that this is not some lens anomaly, which I contend it's not, then something is out there. Something potentially big is out there. Now, I am getting more and more photos from people. I'm going to show you another set here that was sent to me Thursday, from a subscriber in Norway, Sweden. Yeah, I have several people in Sweden and Norway and Finland, in fact, and I just want to make sure, but I believe this was Sweden. It was an outside festival that was taking place. So give me 1 second and I'll cue that up. So let me get over here. So something's going on. You tell me. So he sent me, here he is. He said that, they didn't see anything at the time. Now, this was printed in the local paper as well. So you can really see it's hot up there. They've had a very hot summer. It's cooking up there, baby. And of course, you can see it. there it is. So we have a lot of refraction going on with the water here. And of course, when I looked at this, I said, well, are we just seeing a particular drop that happened to capture the light at the right time for the camera to pick it up? I mean, that's how you have to approach these things. You can't say, well, you know, and so I said, well, let's take a look at this a little bit closer. Folks, I don't think it's a drop of water. My analysis is I don't even think it's a celestial object. I think it may be a ship. Now, that's just me. Is this the way it handled that? Now, there is another one I took, and this is what kind of really told me that. Now, you can see the spray. This is all water. This is not. So, what is it? Well, I don't know. You know, cloak technology. I'm going to be doing a piece on the Vatican, on the treaty that the Vatican entered into and then basically rescinded. I'm convinced that there are what we would consider to be class 2, maybe in class 1 civilizations, maybe greater than ours. Could that be a cloaked vessel? Don't know. But I know that it's not a drop of water either. And there again is the original picture, and we'll focus in on here. Again, you can see the water. I wonder how cold that water is, by the way. So I don't think that that is a amplified droplet. I don't. Could be a celestial object. Could be also something else. I don't know. And I have a couple of more. I think I have one more to show you. What do y'all think about this one? Don't know. Not rightly sure. And then this was one in the archives. Again, the reason why I pulled it out, I think it's the same object we saw. And as you can see, this was August 8th, almost a year ago to the date. Coincidence? I do know. I don't think so. You tell me. He says, well, I don't have a clue. So, hold on one second. So what do you think? We've got a few people in here. I mean, I'm glad we're not giving free coffee. But what do you think? I just want to see some of the comments on here. Okay, a lot of people are seeing what I'm getting. There's something going on now. allow me a second here. I want to pull up another video, and I have to, oh, I know. I got to show this. So I'm going to give this guy's website full credit on this. Let me go here. Have y'all seen this? So this is from Bluebeard 2011. This is some of the strangest things are happening. I'm convinced that, the system is breaking down. Check this out, y'all. Obviously it's typical suburban traffic. Watch our gray van over here. Watch him. The minivan. This is 2014. I wonder where it's gone since then. Watch. What the hell? And it wasn't just the minivan. It was like 3-4 cars that they just phased out of the, and I just want to share this with you. I have my wife, and if I don't bring her on, but she will testify to this. Yesterday, I'm outside with the dog in the backyard, and here, watch this, folks. Watch all of these cars here. They just go away. There was a jet going over, loud as heck, but there was no jet. We couldn't find it. We could hear it, and it was pretty well clear skies. Watch this. I'll tell you what. Now, is that some crazy stuff or what? I mean, seriously. That's weird. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Shamanic Earth Dragon. Listen, I'm looking, and last night I'll share this. So, you get these feelings, and so I'm out looking at Jupiter, looking at Saturn, and marveling at this. And it was one of those beautiful evenings in Colorado. There was what we would call aviation lights, but these aviation lights were spanning a huge distance in the wingspan. We couldn't see anything in between it. Didn't hear anything either. So maybe they're doing a lot of different stuff, but that is one of the most interesting videos I have seen in some time. I mean, and again, 2014, I contend that, and it's just my opinion and theory, that we're seeing something as a result of whether it was the quantum computing going into other dimension, bringing material substance back. I don't know. It could be Project Stargate, could be the Aquarius project, Project Aquarius with the looking glass device. All I know is that there are more and more instances that are happening that are very odd. Speaking of going back in time a little bit, I guess Lynn and I were coming back from a meeting, and as we're getting where I live in Denver, ready to pull into where our subdivision is, we saw this red beam, and it was instantaneously. I mean, it was there, and then it wasn't there. And that was one of those things where it wasn't just one individual, but there were two observers seeing it. So crazy stuff. Now, there is another submitted, and I want to pull up because I have it into my Google Drive. So while I am talking to you folks, this one is another odd one. I really have to say, I don't know. I've seen this effect, but not to the degree that this individual in Florida saw it. So give me a second as I find it. Because this effect is being seen not just with this gentleman, in this case in Florida, South Florida, I believe, but it is being viewed by others around the world. And give me a second, I'm having to go through quite a bit of file footage, but it's worth it. Besides that, y'all are talking in there. And I know this is not very professional, but hey, we're all friends here. As he says, as he keeps looking. And I think I passed it by. Okay, I think this is what I'll do. Let me see. Hi, everyone. I haven't left. All right, so how many people have seen this? That you're getting the striations of light, right? Now, I did that one to show you another picture. So give me a second here. So I have a video, a gentleman shot, and I'm trying to pull it up because when you see it, you'll see how this is becoming much more exaggerated around the planet. And I am going to find this one way or the other. And then I have another good video to show you. When I went into my archives, I found some really cool stuff that I thought you folks would like to see. And this is called Filling In. Y'all just talk amongst yourself. Anyone wants some coffee, go ahead, get yourself a coffee, cold beverage. I really will find this. It's just so frustrating that only when you want to really show it do you cannot find it. Oh, well, maybe I'll find it and then bring it up because this is not good when you're just seeing me talking, obviously looking. But I know I had it pulled up. I'm not nervous, not impatient either. I'm sure neither are you. But it's a good video. I mean, I thought the gentleman captured a really interesting phenomenon. He really did. And of course, it is also a problem when you have, like, you know, thousands and thousands of files and some in subfolders, and you're going, well, but wait a minute. You know, I guess it's just not meant to be showing. Well, that's disappointing. I'm talking for you as my, oh, here we go. Get someone else here to help drive this coach. Well, I guess I'm not going to be able to show it. What a shame. Oh, well, guys. All right. So I've wasted about 15 minutes of our time, of our lives that we're not going to get back for looking at this. but I will find it and I'll pull it up next time we do get together. It's just a shame that I couldn't actually find it, but hey, that happens at times. As he gives one more yeoman's try. All right, so there we go. I'm surprised that there's people. So anyway, interesting pictures, huh? Something is afoot. So this week, and actually, excuse me, it wasn't this week, it was last week when I did the story on NASA announcing the brown dwarf. And then they announced that apparently it wasn't a brown dwarf. Now it's a big planet that is lurking outside our solar system. Well, you've got to ask yourself, is this a result of something that are we being soft disclosed? Are we being fed just enough to make the curious look into a little bit deeper? Now it's 6:30 my time. I'm going to be going out here. The sun sets here right now at 7:56. It goes down below the mountains by 7:30. I'm going to be setting up my telescope, going to see what I can record. I'll let you see those photos when I get them and let you see how they turned out. I certainly, if you have a telescope, go out and check it out. Let me know what you're seeing. I want to see is there something out there? Now, there is a group in Japan that have been saying for a while now that they've been tracking something. They have released some photos. I remember when they released their first batch, I think it was in 2015. Yeah, I think it was. And these were deep field images. There was something definitely out there. I mean, I knew it. I was working with Steve Olson back then. Others, we knew that there was something quantifiably out there. They were definitely picking up something. The problem I had was that there was no way of being able to validate how far it was, and so you're left with a lot of speculation. We used to hear a lot from Mike Brown at Caltech when he broke the stories back in 14, 15, 16 of them finding exoplanets out in the Oort belt and in the Kuiper belt now, that they postulate that the Kuiper belt is filled with these huge rogue potential objects. I thought it was interesting as well as yesterday. I'll look to pull up the story, but they're about to announce in our solar system how many of these exoplanets are out there. I think they're about to announce 23, maybe 27 is the number I heard. So, listen, again, I'm old enough to recall when I was growing up, there were just the 9 planets. And then Pluto got demoted. And I don't know if it's ever gotten restored back. So now, today, when you look at any astronomical map of the solar system, you have Sirius, Ceres. I think that there is 5 others. So that just tells me that there was something happened in our solar system. There was a hell of a collision. I think there must have been some serious billiard playing taking place. And my concern is that, as Dr. Albers has postulated, are we seeing this infestation? And that's the only thing I can think of what would, and I think eventually this is what it's going to be adapted by mainland science, these stellar cores. I mean, a lot of debris out there. They're finding as well with Jupiter. Did I just read another story that the magnetic strength of Jupiter is like just really intensifying? I don't know. A lot going on. And that's good. I guess maybe I'll show those photos just one more time. I'd really like to get your take on these. I think that there is, in fact, something out there. I could be wrong. I don't, like I said, I took the time to go through all these, and in my opinion, there is something definitely afoot. So I'm pulling these up here for everyone to see, and then we'll kind of just, I'm going to go out and do some stargazing. There it is. So are we seeing something? Did the camera pick up something that was out there? Is this a potential aberration of the camera itself? We have to look at all possibilities. I've did my part. I think that the work I did on this has told me I don't think that this is an aberration of the camera. I just don't see it. And I worked and worked and worked on this, and I don't think so. There, as you can see, there's my neighbor's puppy dog. I can actually hear it. I'm pretty sure you can too. So what do you think? Give me 1 second, please. Okay. Got rid of the dog. All right. So there you go, folks. You see it just like I do. I'm sure you will leave your comments. Again, I did everything I could to eliminate an aberration of the camera. And I'm telling you, I think this person actually caught something that, well, draw your own conclusions. If it is something that's big, it's really, really, really big. I don't know. If there is something coming in, holy crap. I don't know. You know, I've read the Colburn. There is another section to the Colburn I'm going to read for everybody that even gets into a little bit more description. But I mean, is it really possible? I mean, you know, as I was researching this, and there I think is one of the cleanest pictures I could get out of that. That I didn't realize this, but nearly 80% of all discoveries are done by amateur astronomers. It's not the big agencies. It's not the ones that got the big telescopes. It's you and I. So check that out. Is that what we're seeing? Now, this is the cleanest picture I could get of this. I think we are, in fact, seeing something here. Let me get this again. So there you go. It's faint. It really is. It's tells me that I think it's back there. But if it's this faint and we can see it now, how big is this? I mean, is this the circumference? Are we just seeing a potential band? I can't wait to get Dr. Albers in on this. There you go. Don't know. It's curious for me. I think that this is quite remarkable. When I saw it this morning, something just instinctively told me to really check this thing out, and I am awfully glad I did. And again, you can see how bright that is. So there we go, folks. Well, this has been fun. Oh, what do you think? Curious and curiouser, isn't it? Please reply to email or Skype. April. Okay. Is that for the 3rd? Is that what you are asking me for? I think I sent you a response. It's yes, that'd be fine. Warship of Planet X. Casey, interesting that you say this. So this project I've been working on with the Vatican, apparently they've known about this since 1954. And they became aware. The Pope that was supposedly murdered, then replaced. The whole story going with him, Bishop John McIntyre, his interactions with Eisenhower, leads up all the way to Pope John Paul II, as we remember him, the Pope of Love. His apparently tormented soul on having to deal with this, but apparently this, and I'm just telling you what I read, that this planet coming in is inhabited, and they came here nearly 70 years ago to announce themselves. They were a advanced delegation, and they are a warlike species. I don't know about you, but that sounds damn close to the Anunnaki. But this is what the Vatican has known. And apparently the Vatican entered into, it was Pope Pius the 23rd, I believe, that entered into the original pact. And it was not with the original delegation, but it was with what they call the Nordic race. And apparently they thought, this Pope really thought that they believed in the Christian God. Come to find out they don't. They like the Christo message is what they said, but they do not. And when the Pope found this out, they found out that they really couldn't come together, but they did agree that if there were things that they could work together, and apparently I'll get into more of the story, but the point is that they've known about this encounter, this crossing. And all I've got to say is that I hope that they're not a warlike race, a species specifically is what they said. So there you go. What can you say? I think we're in for some, and to back this up, those of you who come out of Catholicism, the Catholic Church, ask yourself why the Second Vatican Council II was established. I'll tell you why it was established. It was established to begin to deal with what the Pope was told was going to be intimate contact. And they have been planning for some 40, maybe 50 years now, in how to address this. Is this true? I don't know. So it's interesting as well. Who knows? I don't know. As I begin to wrap this down, it's like the story that was out last night, that the federal government is doing secret experiments on the US population. They had to admit to this. I'm doing another story here, and it's going to be titled The People That Disappear. And in the United States alone, it's estimated 500,000 to maybe as much as 2 million people disappear each year. Just disappear. Okay, I got this right. So it was Pope John the 23rd, and then Pope John Paul II, and a few others. So they've all known about this. So I don't know. As y'all know, I only just try to report what's there, and then I'll give you what's in my mind, but tells me that something's going on. So anyway, well, here we go. I'll let y'all go. This has been fun. I appreciate all of you attending. This has been fun. This has been a good place. I wish I had the opportunity that we could meet in well, I don't think there's a coffee shop that would hold 300 people. But boy, I think that there would be the cacophony of conversation would be probably so great that the neighbors would tell us to shut it down. All right, folks, see me tomorrow. I'm with Jeff. We're going to be on a half hour earlier. We'll be 6:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 East Coast. Sure, we're going to be talking about this, and then we're definitely going to pick this up again with Dr. Albers. This is good. And if you've got photos out there, if he goes out and take some pictures, by the way, tonight is the peak of the Perseid meteorite shower. We're heading into the densest part of whatever this was. Remnants of a moon, remnants of a planet. Who knows? How many knows? I don't know. Thank you, skies above. Everyone, have yourself a great evening. I thank you for attending. Let me know. I'm going to go back and read the comments. I'd like to really get your take on what you think was captured by this individual. And I want to thank her again for submitting. And many of you that do submit, I got to get all your permission. So if you want me to show them, please give me your permission. All right. Be good to yourself. The 70s did it the best. I thought it was interesting that Madonna said that, guess what, millennials? Guess what, Generation Z? That apparently there is no more good music being produced. Apparently, Tim Cook thinks the same thing. Tim Cook thinks that we have run out of our creative talent of producing good music. Who knows? I say the 70 rules. I got to see those bands. Hell, I carried a lot of the damn speakers up many of ramps. So anyway, I digress. Y'all be good to yourselves. We'll see you real soon. All right. Bye-bye.